right now I have opened up the behind the scenes of Theo Technologies, and I have explained how we have a nice variety of skill sets within the team. We have the passion to deliver and develop and deliver the technology that we're building. And we also have the traction within the market and the routes to market to grow the offering within the market so that we can raise the turnover for our investors. But most importantly, we're building this system around this crowdfunding campaign, which means the user and the potential investor that might be listening to us, they will become essentially unique part of the development journey of the system.
Roger, nice to see you in person.
Very nice to meet you as well, Barney.
Welcome to Cyprus.
Oh, sunny Cyprus, yes.
So, as the name of the podcast suggests, this is called Behind the Pitch. So, today we're interested to know a little bit about the story behind the pitch, behind what potential investors can find on the campaign page or by doing their own research online.
All the embarrassing things that happen behind the scenes.
Yes, we're interested to know all of those things. So, Roger, could you start by sharing a little bit about your professional background and what led you into the field of cloud computing and technology?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So I'm a graduate of physics from Lancaster University in the UK. And throughout my degree, we were tasked to do a lot of computational models, like a solar system model or something like that. But the problem was that the available computers and laptops that we were given as part of the university degree did not have the GPU capabilities to simulate things graphically. They could do all the calculations, but images, no, that's no go. So I just had a chat with one of my lecturers at the time, and I remember very distinctively, he said, you should grab the laptop with the code that you wrote, go and sit in a back room where a server is, which has the GPUs in it, plug yourself in and just wait until your calculations finish and you have the model ready. And then you can come back and submit it. I'm like, come on, guys, this is 2015. Why am I going in a dark room somewhere to do this? Why can I not do this remotely? So that was the first bit of trigger leading towards Theotech and LoLa later on. Now, leaving the university, I started doing some IT work in the B2B market. And I was just supporting customers with day-to-day problems with their PCs. Oh, my email's not working. Oh, my internet's down, or whatever it might be. But during that time, I had this constant thought of, why do I need to jump on a car to go to my customer when I could just remotely help them? How to connect to their PCs remotely. But then every now and again, the problem wasn't software. It was the PC itself. So I started thinking, why can't they connect to the PC and I can have control of that PC to service it for them, keep it running, keep it secure. And that was another one of the triggers. And then COVID came. And of course, I'm thinking, you know what? We should go to the cloud. This needs to stop. This is 20-year-old technology. We need to move on. And that is where Theotech came to be.
For our listeners who might not be so familiar with your product, can you explain in simple terms what LoLa Cloud PCs stand for and how they work?
Oh, yes, of course. So LoLa, low latency cloud computing. Essentially what it is in layman's terms, it's a PC in the cloud that you can access from any device through an application. What does that look like? I have a laptop, I have a tablet, I have a smartphone, and I have the LoLa app on it. Just by tapping the LoLa app, you can stream a high performance PC from the cloud on any screen. You essentially turn your smartphone or your tablet into a PC. And what's more important than that is the same PC on every single device. Same programs, same files, same cybersecurity for your files and programs.
Sounds simple enough.
Yes.
We'll explore the more technical details a bit later on. LoLa stands for low latency. Why is low latency so important, and what does it mean for the user experience?
Of course. At the end of the day, if you have a PC tower, you have it under your desk, the latency or the delay, as people understand it, is the time it takes for the video to go from your PC to your screen. That is the distance it has to travel. When you go to cloud computing, latency is really important because if you click your mouse and then that signal needs to go to a cloud PC and then return back down within a timely manner, if it takes more than 100 milliseconds, the human eye will detect a delay. And if you're using your PC and things are slow, then it won't be a good experience for you. So low latency. With our technology, we minimize the time, we minimize the delay. So when you click, everything happens instantly. So as far as the user is concerned, it's the perfect experience of a PC without the problems that come with having hardware under your desk.
All right, cool. So, Roger, at Crowdbase, we believe that the most important factor when considering investing in a startup is the team behind it.
Oh, yes.
All right, so tell me more about your team at Theo Technologies and why you think this team has the right backgrounds and competencies to take this thing forward.
I like that terminology. It's a team. We are a team at Theotech. We're not a big team. We're a small team of 8 to 10 people. We have some people that are working part-time, but the skill sets have been carefully selected within the team so that we have the appropriate skill sets to take this type of technology forwards. And that's including the technical backgrounds to develop the software and keeping it secure, the business backgrounds in order to build a correct structure for the technology to be offered to the user. And finally, the marketing and sales capacities to be able to portray the correct brand and take it forward into the marketplace. And with those things in mind, the team of 8 people we have has a very nice blend of the background of skill sets that we need. Now, because we are a small team, when it comes to an expansion, that is exactly why we need to host a funding campaign so that we can grow that team to deliver the best service to our users going forward.
So you said 8 people. Are those all full-time employees? Or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And are there any co-founders just beside yourself, or were you the only co-founder?
At the time, when I was starting the business, it was just an idea. And I did an application to Innovate UK, which is the innovation organization of the United Kingdom. And the application was, I have this idea and it sounds like it should be the way that things are. So I applied it to Innovate UK and they came back with full green colors. That's amazing. We'll give you a grant. We'll give you money to make this happen. So I was the sole founder. But within my background of IT and physics and the business world that I was in, I was able to draw the attention of the right individuals that wanted to join the team because of the project, not because of the position. And by attracting those kind of people, we managed to build a love project. We love what we do and we care about what we do, which is why it's becoming such a success in the UK.
Are there any particular values or a culture within the company that drive innovation and progress?
Yes, and I couldn't put it better than the Silicon Valley mindset. It's the mindset of we're building technology because we like technology. We're building this project because we like what it stands for. And when it comes to building a business around it, that's only a bonus for us. We care about what the users get. We care about the values of the users and want to speak to our users so that they can tell us what they care about. And that's exactly the reason why this system is developing so organically within the industry.
Right. Let's touch upon a little bit more on the technical, on the technical aspect of the things, and trying to keep it as simple as possible for the audience to understand, because many of the potential investors will not be that familiar within this field. So, is there a physical PC that I am connecting to? How exactly does it work?
There is a common misconception when we're talking about cloud computing, that everything's in the cloud. It's just a non-physical thing. But the answer to that is that it's wrong. It's a wrong misconception. There is a hypercomputer, or commonly known as server, which is based within a data center, which is a large building with multiple supercomputers with a huge team of engineers constantly working on keeping it secure, keeping it running, keeping it available for the users. And that is exactly what we use to host these cloud PCs. So essentially, instead of having a PC under your desk, we grab that same PC and put it in a massive supercomputer within a data center, and we keep control of it, keep it secure, keep it running for the user. And then when it comes to streaming that PC to the applications that you can access it and use it, then that's where our technology in LoLa comes. We grab the image and deliver it at the minimum delay to the screen of the user.
Where is this server room located, and how does my distance from this server room impact my latency, for example, or the connection speed? Is it based in the UK? What if I'm in Cyprus? What if I'm in Australia? Or how does it come into play?
Yes, we're quite proud to say that we are a cross-cloud platform. What that means is that we can choose the data center closest to the user at the time of creation. So at the moment, with the users we have in the UK, we will use DigitalOcean, we will use AWS, we will use Azure data centers, but always closest to where the user is. Because exactly what you said, however far away you are from the data center, we cannot beat the laws of physics. The information will travel at light speed through a fiber connection, and it will get to you as soon as it can. But the further away you are, the bigger the latency. And the bigger the latency, the worse experience you will have as a user.
Understood. So you have multiple options in terms of these big server rooms. It's not just a single one located in somewhere in the world. It's many locations, and you connect the users to the closest one.
Exactly. And that's really important when it comes to our main markets as well, like the university market, because there's such a thing called a data sovereignty. So it's where all the files are saved. If they're within the country of where the university is or where your organization is. If you're in Cyprus, you wouldn't want your data saved in China, in the US. You'd want it to be
Correct.
in Greece, in Cyprus, somewhere nearby where you feel like the laws around your data protect your data for you.
So is this system scalable? How can you handle increasing numbers of users without compromising performance?
We are lucky that we're not reinventing the wheel when it comes to hosting. We are building our system on giants like Azure, giants like AWS and Amazon. So the capacity for storing the data and scaling the system to multiple users is handled by the availability of servers throughout the world of these giants. Now, at the same time, because they have the infrastructure in the back end, our service is greatly improved on the fact that we can focus on the technology that streams to the user. So we focus on the user, they focus on the technology in the back end, and everything coming together gives LoLa this unique selling point to the user.
Are there any other measures in place to ensure that as you grow, the user experience remains seamless?
This is something that we've been trying to keep a track on internally as a team, because like we said before, we like speaking to our users. We like that interaction. We like that constant feedback of, I like this, but that actually should be improved a bit because it'll make my life easier. And through that method of continuous development feedback, by keeping in touch with all our users, we're ensuring that the development serves what the user cares about. Now, how does that work in the long term? Is that every time we fix something that's bugging a user, that means every single user after that will have that improvement given to them. And the system only improves based on what the users need.
Cool. You touched upon doing some work with universities. So can you explain a little bit more about how did that come about and what the traction is with the universities so far?
Yes. So the system actually started being developed with the user in mind. It was an idea of, if I wanted to connect to my PC, I wouldn't want to have to walk to a desk and go and sit down and plug in a PC and start working on it. I can connect remotely. But we've always theorized at the start, that large organizations like universities that care about scalability, care about security, and care about providing loads of PCs in a short period of time would be interested in this. Now, out of the blue, we just reached out to a few of them to set up some pilots. And a university, I'm not going to say who at this moment in time, came back, and he was the head of the computer science department. And they said, I want you to come over. I want you to show us what this does because we're really interested in implementing this. And it was out of the blue. So I just thought, you know what, let's go and have a chat. And we ended the chat, and they said, we want this today. And I answered saying, we're not ready for this. We're only just building this. And I said, why are you so interested in implementing our system? And the answer was because universities need to be secure because they're hosting so much sensitive data of the users. So by transfer, you can't do insecure things like teaching DDoS attacks or cybersecurity problems to the computer science department because you will put their data in a security situation. So they said, what if we could separate the local infrastructure within the university, the secure things, from things that give you the flexibility to create multiple PCs for the users, to test the security measures of these computers. And by that thinking, if they implement LoLa, they're simply streaming a computer that's outside their network. So they're still secure within the network, but at the same time, they're streaming a PC for every single user, which is outside the network. And not only that, the scalability allows them to spin up supercomputers like AI data mining computers, which otherwise they would have to buy, set up, and then ration the hours to whoever needs to use it. Whereas now, the internet is their limit. They have an unlimited amount of power.
So let's take like a more practical example. So I have a university. I have a student library. It has 200 PC terminals there. So what value can LoLa Cloud PCs bring to me? Why should I implement this?
The funniest story that I was told by the head of the department was, look at that computer lab right there. And I looked through a window and said, look at the color of the desktop PCs. I said, oh yeah, oh, they're white. He said, yes, they're white. That's how long we had to change them. And because they're so old, they're like 2005, 2010 PCs, no one's using them. So they're just sat there collecting dust, and we're just trying to find the funding to replace them. And what are we going to do when we replace them? We'll get expensive hardware that we're going to set up. They're going to be used for the next 3 to 5 years, and then they will be too old again. So a solution like LoLa will replace those PCs with a terminal, a simple terminal like this, which acts as a connection to the internet. That's all it is. You can plug in a monitor, a keyboard and a mouse, and your internet. And the moment you turn it on, the monitor will show a login, and that login is the students. Now you have 200 students. Instead of buying 200 PCs and more to service them, you just click a button on the LoLa app, and it creates 200 virtual computers within seconds that everyone can use throughout their journey as a student. And when they finish, you can just simply wipe them off. They are completely clean. There's no trace staying behind, and you can start again for next year.
What if I wanted to have my work saved at that PC and access it the next day, for example?
Yes.
Does it have to be wiped off?
That is a great question. So the computers we create, they are persistent, as they're called, which means whatever you store will remain stored and exist for next time you log in. And the only time that disappears is when the admin, or in this case, the university, says, this student has moved on, they've finished their degree, and that PC now doesn't need to exist. So what do? Simply delete and create another one fresh for the new students that are coming in every year.
Right. So roughly how many of these terminals, of these things right here, have you installed in universities so far?
Yes. So these labs are usually of the size of 30 to 50 PCs per lab. At this moment in time, we have 5 universities that are piloting the system. That adds up to something like 300 to 350 devices being implemented within these universities. But actually, it's less than that, because we have the capability of installing our software in the existing PC that's getting old, which turns it into essentially this device. So you don't need to buy this equipment. We can upscale and upcycle, as it's called, those PCs to become LoLa hubs.
So how are the students and faculty responding to this so far? What's the feedback you received so far?
There's an interesting combination of feedback. There is a bit of an understanding of how the technology works that needs to happen, because it's such a new way of dealing with things. Even though virtual computers have been around for years, the use of them on a daily basis has not. So when you speak to someone and you say, well, I can give you a PC and it's in the cloud, it just goes over the head of some people. How does that even work? But after you go through that learning process, it starts making sense. You're thinking, well, shouldn't it be like that anyway? And actually that comes back to that Netflix parallel that we spoke about before. So years ago, we should have had a DVD player or a cassette player, depending on how old you are. And then you need to go and get that DVD or cassette, you need to slot it in, connect it to a monitor, and you see a film on your screen. In the same principle, we have a desktop PC that's plugged into a monitor, and you turn it on and you see what that PC does. Now, in the same manner that Netflix has taken away that physical device and put it in a server somewhere, so you can access it wherever you are from any device through their application, we are removing those tower PCs and replacing them with a cloud equivalent, meaning you have a PC in the cloud and you have a TV at home with the application on it. You can turn your TV into a PC, your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, from anywhere.
So we talked about one potential segment of LoLa, which is the B2B academic institutions that may want to replace their physical PCs with this solution here. So what are the other primary users of LoLa? Is it businesses, educational institutions, gamers, creatives? Who are the main users of LoLa?
As we discussed before, the core offering of LoLa today is built on higher education. And the reasoning for that is because higher education is open to new technologies. They can spend the time to understand how it works, and we can pilot with them and even gain feedback from academic experts on how to improve on the service. But it's difficult to identify the ideal markets for this kind of system because everyone's using a PC today. Everyone has a need for a PC. What we have identified, though, is that our technology, the LoLa technology, the streaming technology, has become of a level that can be used for creative individuals and gamers alike. The low latency with the high quality of the video allows any gamer to essentially download our software and not stream a cloud PC, but stream their own PC. So you have a gaming PC that you spend loads of money on it to set it up. And then you go to the town over, you can't access it because it's remote. Or you download LoLa, you can have a tablet with you and you can connect to your remote gaming PC and actually game a machine, a game that needs a machine that's really expensive to run on a low-end device. And by expanding that, creative individuals can now do video editing work, 3D design work, CAD design, architecture. So all these different graphically intensive applications that require you to buy expensive hardware can now be moved either remotely to all your devices or eventually to a cloud computer that doesn't cost £10,000 to buy. It costs something like £50 a month.
Okay, so B2B, the academic one, the academic institutions, B2C, the gamers, the creatives, and I'm sure 1,000 other use cases that people may find.
Yeah.
What about B2B in terms of businesses? I own an SME, a small medium enterprise. I have 100 employees. At my work there, I have 75 laptop terminals. I give my employees all of the terminals. How can I use your solution? Is it in my best interest to use your solution?
Yes, 100%. So we have been considering startups more and then the SME world because of the scalability factor. When you gain a new employee or when you bring a contractor in, the ability to buy a new laptop or a new terminal and then give it to them and set it up with all the security configurations can take weeks to get it right. And most of the time, people get it wrong and then you have security breaches. Whereas with our system, any new employee coming into the business can get a PC within a few seconds with all the configurations in the system already, just by clicking on the LoLa app. And then going forward, if you have a team of, let's say, 75 employees, and you wanted to deploy 75 PCs in one go, simply jump on your terminal, hit 75 PCs, and they are created and allocated to each one's email. Now, one important thing about the security is that if there is a bad lever at some point and you need to protect the data of the company from the person that's no longer employed within the company, then you have that control in the dashboard.
Just restrict access.
Simply lock down that PC, you can no longer access it.
Cool. So Theo Technologies is the company.
Yes.
LoLa Cloud PCs is the core product. Are there any other products in the pipeline that you're thinking, that the team is thinking to develop later on?
There's a bit of a problem with a creative development team, which is every
so
other
many
day.
Ideas.
Yeah, ideas just pop out of thin air. But in terms of the products that we're looking at and we're focusing on, they all revolve around that core offering of LoLa Cloud PCs. So one of the most prevalent ones is Moonshine streaming. So essentially, LoLa Cloud PCs does a good job of streaming a PC. But when it comes to extremely high quality graphics, you require really good compression and streaming service to do it. And that is what we call Moonshine. It is its own product, but it's integrated within LoLa Cloud PCs so that if you have a high performance cloud PC for, again, 3D design, etc., you're able to stream it at 4K resolutions at 120 FPS, which is something most people don't even understand the quality. But when you're a professional and you focus on graphics, that will make the world of a difference. On the other hand, we also have the LoLa AI project, which has just received funding from Innovate UK again, in order to conduct a feasibility study on its feasibility. What that does is it improves that streaming service to the point where the broadband requirement, so the internet speed you need to stream 8K and above resolutions, is essentially something like 2 to 3 megabps, which is unheard of right now.
How is this achieved?
Okay, we'll keep it simple.
In 15 seconds.
In 15 seconds, okay. When you stream a video of high quality, you need to compress it, as it's called. So you split it up in small bits, send it over the internet, and then pick it up on the other end, put them all together, and you have your video.
So
stream.
it improves this method.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So lots of things.
It's a good job you're stopping me because I can ramble on forever.
So where do you see Theo Technologies and LoLa in the next few years? What's the long-term vision of the company? Where do you want to go?
Yes, Theo Technologies is right now a cradle of innovation. We focus on R&D. We focus on this cutting-edge technology that we can deliver to the user directly. Get the cloud, the power of the cloud in the palm of every user. So in the next 3 to 5 years, we want to establish LoLa as essentially the up-and-coming default for computing within the industry. If you want a PC, you don't go to a PC shop, you go to the cloud provider that can give you a cloud PC and then start using it on any device you have locally. And moving on from that, technologies like AI for compression and broadband streaming, and essentially everything regarding streaming through the internet is the focus of Theo Technologies. And that's what we want to be focusing on.
Right. Let's turn our attention a little bit now to the more financial investment aspect. Why did you decide to launch a crowdfunding campaign? And what do you think you may be able to gain besides just the capital, besides just the money?
Yes. So there's two aspects to that answer. We began Theo Technologies in the last 4 years. We've already received £320,000 of investment, but that was focused on developing the technology and the vision around the business plan around that technology. Today, we're at a point where we've proven this technology and we're ready to scale. We're ready to hit all the different markets. In order to do that, though, we require the capital to be able to grow the team and be able to conduct proper marketing strategies and sales funnels to grow within the industry. But at the same time, it didn't feel right to open up a VC funding round or an angel funding round where we get individuals, high net worth individuals, joining the cap table essentially as business people, not users of the technology. And suddenly it just came to us. If we need that feedback, if we need those users to be coming to us and saying, actually, that's what I want, not that, and improve our technology with us, we want them to be part of the business. And by launching a crowdfunding campaign, we can allow the users to become advocates. They can become exciting users and owners of this business, which
and
means
feedback providers
and
sales executives.
All the above. We are growing the team just by including our community.
So you're raising anywhere between 200K to 500K in this round. So how will the funds be used?
Yes. Initially, we will focus on commercializing the core product of LoLa Cloud PCs. So we have 5 universities now piloting the system, and those are mainly based in the UK. But we have had preliminary discussions with Cypriot universities and some European universities as well. But it's only conversations, and the capacity in the team is not there to service them at this moment in time. So the first focus of the investment will be to put together a small team of marketing and sales account managers to interact with these universities, conduct more pilots, and grow that offering within the market. And following that, grow the technical team to support the raising number of users within the system. And towards the end of that plan, we're moving to phase 2, where we're opening up to the parallel markets of the system. So not just the university sales, but going into the gaming market, going into the creative market. But in order to do that, we need to focus on the core first. And the core is universities.
Cool. So myself, I am a potential investor in Theo Technologies, as many of our listeners are potential investors in Theo Technologies. So why should we feel confident in investing into Theo Technologies?
That is a very nice question. Do you have them written down there somewhere? Just joking. So right now I have opened up the behind the scenes of Theo Technologies, and I have explained how we have a nice variety of skill sets within the team. We have the passion to develop and deliver the technology that we're building. And we also have the traction within the market and the routes to market to grow the offering within the market so that we can raise the turnover for our investors. But most importantly, we're building this system around this crowdfunding campaign, which means the user and the potential investor that might be listening to us, they will become essentially unique part of the development journey of the system. Essentially, going forward, you are part of the team. You are able to pick up the phone and ring me. I'm the CEO of the team, but we're not seeing ourselves as a corporate entity. We are a team that's developing something we love. So we want to hear from you. We want you to reach out. We want you to tell us your concerns. And if you have opportunities, we will come down and investigate those opportunities with you.
What if I'm not a person that's heavily involved in this industry, and therefore I am a passive investor? I want to just invest because I think this is a good investment opportunity.
We'd love to have you. We'd love it. 100%.
Yeah.
If there was any opportunity out in the market for you to invest in, we are the one. If you're looking for investment opportunities, there is no better time for you to enter this kind of system, because we are at the start of the journey, we have the good traction, and we can only project growth going forward. If you'd like to be part of the journey, we'd love to have you.
Great. So, Roger, thank you very much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners, especially the potential investors, again, that are listening? Anything else that you would like to add? Anything that you feel is important and we didn't touch upon it?
I believe I'd just like to reiterate what I was just saying about how we're open to discussion. We wouldn't like you to blindly accept what I'm saying and then try and find the funds to invest in our company. We want you to challenge us. We want you to speak to us. And even if you choose not to invest into our company today, we'd like you to be part of the journey. So reach out, go to our website, which is LoLa-PC.com, and click on the communicate with us. We have a Discord server, which is open for everyone to join and just send messages out, or even email me directly. I'm Roger, R-O-G-E-R, at theo-tech.co.uk. And then when it comes to investing and the funding round that is going to be in crowdfunding, you can visit the Crowd-based website. Once the campaign is live, just go on there, read through the financials, scrutinize every little bit. And if you do want to reach out, please do.
Excellent. Roger, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, I appreciate you inviting me.
Good luck with your funding round.
Thank you very much.